The Embassy Live Music Café takes place every Saturday at 7 p.m. where people from all walks of life gather together for food, friendship, and live music. Joining me are Jeff Babcock from Lionhearts Incorporated and Sean McCullough, a regular performer at the cafe. Jeff, Sean, thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for all you do in the community. It's amazing. Lionhearts, I believe 10 years it's been going on. And
Yep.
Can you give us a little, there's so many things Lionhearts does. Could you give us an overview?
Sure. Lionheart's celebrating our 10th anniversary. We've become something that started as a very small grassroots organization to now one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the city of Kingston. And we've even grown beyond Kingston. We're now in Ottawa, we're now in London, Ontario, and we're looking to expand many of the Lionhearts programs across the rest of Ontario and potentially beyond. Mm-hmm. So we do things in the areas of food recovery, food distribution, and community nutrition. We do things in the housing, particularly transitional housing spaces. We're in the shelter space. We also have vocational training programs for people coming through addiction and mental health issues, and recovery programs to get them back into the working community. Wow. And we also have significant initiatives that fight against human trafficking and sexual trafficking programs. That's, to only name a few of the things that we do, but really it's a broad approach looking to kind of holistically deal with problems across that whole space of issues with the vulnerable community.
Wow. And I remember during the pandemic, where I would see, lineups of hundreds of people at a park that were getting food by or through Lionhearts. I feel like it was at that time that Lionhearts really exploded in the city and began taking on all those services. Is that kind of how it worked?
Yeah, that was a major point of growth for Lionhearts in terms of social awareness of what we were doing. When the pandemic happened, many of the agencies in the city that were feeding people and providing meals to people shut down for various reasons. Lionhearts was able to then open up. In this case, we started at Skeleton Park, and then that grew a little bit beyond that. And at one time, we were producing up to 700 meals in a day.
That's amazing.
And these were very high-quality meals. We had volunteer chefs who are still out in the community. Otter Creek Kitchens, for instance, the chefs from there. Will was super generous with his time, and a number of others. And that really, again, brought some notoriety to what Lionhearts was doing, at least in the food capacity.
It's incredible. We could talk, I think, for a long time about all the different bits that Lionhearts does. Human trafficking is amazing. I didn't know that must be maybe a new, and then expanding to Ottawa and London. But I think you've got the Embassy program, which runs out of the Spire every Saturday night, or almost every Saturday night. And I know, Sean, you're really involved with that as a musician.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what is the Embassy?
To me, it's my absolute favorite gig I've ever played. I've played many places. It's just one of those venues where you can go in. It's once you meet everybody, it's like you've known them for forever. They know your name, and they come specifically to see you, and it's just a comfortable place for people to go. It's like playing for your family in your living room for me. It's wonderful.
And it's different than most live music venues.
It's
right?
a listening room, yeah.
So listening room. So what do you mean by that?
A lot of the venues, I know Jeff can attest to this. Over the years, we played the bars, we played many, the festivals and that. And a lot of time, you can be background music. You're either Elvis or you're wallpaper. I like to refer to it, right? So,
ambient.
And these folks are out for it's date night. It's they're there to listen, and you're getting requests all the time. It's great. It makes the job so much more better, when you can just play what people want to hear, and they dance, and between the patrons and the volunteers, I know Marilyn is dancing a storm up there.
Yeah, and it's different in other ways than maybe a traditional, or I don't know, another, like a bar, let's say, in Kingston, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of what separates it?
Sure. So the Embassy is intentionally a dry venue. And a fundamental reason why the Embassy is a dry venue is because we are trying to integrate the vulnerable community into there. So every week, the Embassy provides some complimentary tickets to members of the vulnerable community. And then we have our regular rate. If you show up at the door, you can buy a ticket for $10 and get in at the door like any member of society. But we also want to have this to be a really open and inclusive space where everyone is welcome and allow members of the vulnerable community to come in and take part. And we also
music,
enjoy
right?
music.
Be normal, like enjoy
and enjoy food as well.
social-
Yeah, food is included with that. We have great drinks, pizza, hot dogs, and things that is all free for people as they come into the embassy. Whether you're a paid ticket taker or whether you've received a complimentary ticket, no one will be turned away at the door for any financial reason.
So you get food, you get snacks, you get some non-alcoholic drinks, you watch some live music, and I believe the musicians are paid, right?
Yep.
Like it's live musicians from around Kingston or the area come in. You know, for me, I'm not to bring in my personal stuff, but I used to work at Harbor Light, I was mentioning, which is a drug rehab facility. And I remember how important it was for these gentlemen to have a place to go on a Saturday night that was triggerless or there's no alcohol, and they could just go and be normal and just enjoy a live music venue without being at risk of anything. So I think it's a really amazing thing, and thanks very much for all you're doing. Sean, I know you're an accomplished musician and you play maybe every 2 months at the Embassy.
Yep.
You brought your guitar.
I did.
And you're okay to play us out.
Sure, I will do that. It's early in the day, but it's okay.
Amazing. So we're about to enjoy some music by musician Sean McCullough, an original piece. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in and for talking about the Embassy and Lionhearts.
Thank you so much, Sam. Appreciate it.
I'm that skinny little boy who's too afraid to fight. I'm that pretty teenage girl who sent some pictures to boys she liked in school. Now I'm everybody's fool. I'm that homeless man you walk by on your way to work each day. Used to have a job and had my pride, for the factory moved away and left me standing here, begging for change. But if you look at me, and maybe look inside yourself, you'd see we're both the same, just see things in different ways. To walk a mile inside my shoes, probably change your point of view on how I'm different. You know, the thought is not that strange, you just might find yourself begging for change. I'm that shy and awkward young man, afraid to tell my dad why I've never kissed a girl, that I'm probably not the son you wish you had. But that's just the way I am. And I'm a single teenage mom who had a choice to make, to stay with him and live in fear, or take a child and run away. That's why we're standing here, begging for change. But if you look at me, then maybe look inside yourself, you'd see we're both the same, just see things in different ways. To walk a mile inside my shoes, probably change your point of view on how I'm different. You know, the thought is not that strange, you just might find yourself begging for change. You know, it's really not that strange, you just might find yourself